Hi, I am Karen from Layers of Learning, and today I want to talk to you about starting out a homeschooling journey. Over the years, Michelle and I have helped tons of families get started with homeschooling, and we've also helped a lot of families through rough patches in their homeschool, whether it was learning disabilities or just parenting struggles or just exhaustion. All kinds of things kind of get in the way of a successful homeschool, and along the way, as we've helped people get started or helped them through rough patches, there's always one question that we ask them, and that is why? Why are you homeschooling? It's not that we're ever trying to discourage anyone from it, but we encourage people to examine their why because it helps you along the way. Every single homeschool has rough patches. You know, we get this ideal picture in our heads of what it's going to be like, and the truth is that homeschooling is not going to live up to that ideal picture that's in your head. It's never going to be a Pinterest day when it's day after day after day. You might have moments that are happy and awesome, but you're also going to have tough moments. And so it's important that you examine your why. So it's been many, many years since I started homeschooling. My oldest son is married now. I've got college kids. And so I started homeschooling a long, long time ago. And my why has actually changed, but I want to tell you a little bit about why I started in the beginning. We lived in a place that did not have good schools. In fact, I was friends with a few of the teachers at our local school, and they told me I wouldn't have my kids go here. They weren't even happy with how it was going. And I tried really hard to get my son enrolled in some charter schools. We were on the waiting lists and just nothing was happening. We didn't get into any of them, just nothing was working. And I looked at his school, and not only had people told me bad things about it, but it also had like metal detectors and armed guards and everything. And here was my little kindergartner just starting out, and I just could not send him. I just didn't feel good about it. And I had been a teacher, and so I kind of went, oh my goodness. And my husband said, why don't you just teach him? And so it wasn't an instant decision. It was something that weighed heavily on us, and we thought a lot about and talked a lot about. But we were both public school raised kids, and honestly, it's not something that we really had planned on for our family. And so it took a lot of consideration and a lot of thought. But in the end, we both just felt like it was the right thing. When I look at our homeschool today, now my youngest is 13, and so we're in a totally different place. We don't even live in the same area. Our kids are in different ages and stages of life, and I don't homeschool today because we live in a place with a bad school. That's not our thing anymore. That's not my why at this point. Right now, my why is really, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with not only teaching, but how much I learn. I love that our whole family is wrapped up in books and learning, and we just share in all of that together. My kids have grown so close over the years. We have been more unified as a family than I think is average because we've spent so much time together. I mean, for our family specifically, my husband's also a pilot, so it's given us an opportunity to have the freedom to go visit places and see places and have neat vacations that are awesome. So for our family in particular, I know my why, but it has changed over time, and I've had to re-examine that. My husband loves to tease me because if you ask him, why does your family homeschool? He would say, because my wife tried to retire over and over and over again, and she always came out of retirement. And we joke, on the hard days, I always said, I retire, I can't do this. And especially if the hard days turned into hard weeks, sometimes even hard months. And sometimes I felt like I couldn't do it. I felt like I wasn't having a positive impact. They weren't learning enough. I was really, really worried and exhausted, and it was hard. And in those moments, what brought me out of retirement, even if the retirement was only, a few hours or maybe a day where I said I can't do this, what always brought me out was my why. Whatever it was at that age and stage, I always knew the reason that I homeschooled. Your reasons matter, and you need to kind of evaluate them and then tuck them into your heart so that on those hard days, you can remember why you're doing this. You can remember why it matters to you. It wasn't an easy decision, I'm positive, because homeschooling is not easy. And so if you really examined it and you know your why, it will help you to get through all of those tough times. Now on layersoflearning.com, we actually have a whole guide for homeschoolers, and it has some pages at the beginning that help you kind of write down your why. They help you write down the things that you're hoping for your kids, the things that you're hoping for yourself, and it just allows you to kind of examine those. And every year I start that packet again and I examine my why. I think about why I'm doing this, what my goals are, what my hopes are, and it has seen us through some tough weeks, tough years, and it's kind of kept me on track when I wasn't sure if I could do this homeschooling thing. Every single homeschool parent has days that they aren't sure they can do this homeschool thing. It's exhausting. It's not really different than parenting. We love being parents. We wouldn't not be parents, but there are days where you question and think, I don't know if I can do this. And again, knowing your why is what makes the difference. So I hope that you'll go to layersoflearning.com and go grab that guide and take just a few minutes to write down your why and put it somewhere, whether it's in your planner or, somewhere where you can find it on those hard days, and read through it and just remember why you chose to do this thing. Hope you have a good week. Bye-bye.
Layers of Learning is a homeschool curriculum company. We create hands-on and literature-based lessons in history, geography, science, arts, and language arts. Check us out at layersoflearning.com and on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. Have fun learning!